Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be doing my AFL tips and predictions for round 4 and looking over my tips for round 3 and how tremendously bad I've been doing basically week on week, and hopefully I can just pick the right teams this week. So before we get into it, remember to like and subscribe, as it will be a big help for the channel as we continue to grow and push forward. So remember to turn on the notification bell before we get further into this video. So now let's get into the video, and as you can see here, I got 3 out of 9 picks, and yeah, bottom 83%, and yeah, I'm ranked 736,000 upon every other footy tipper out of like 840 or something. I'm doing really badly. So picked Brisbane off by 24. They were off by 4. They lost by 14, so 38 points off in the margin game. Picked Collingwood over Richmond, good pick. Picked North Melbourne over Hawthorn, and I originally, before I filmed the video, had these two teams swapped around. So good thing, I guess a good and a bad. I should have just stuck with Hawthorn actually beating North, but I thought the consensus pick was North Melbourne. I got the Carlton game right. I picked Essendon to beat St Kilda, but St Kilda's defence just looks really good at the moment. Port to beat Adelaide. Adelaide won the showdown. Gold Coast to beat Gold Coast to lose against Geelong, and Geelong I didn't think would go 0-3, so maybe this week you tip against them. I thought the Swans would beat Melbourne in a close game, but Melbourne just blew them out. And then Freo won the Derby, which I picked correctly. So hopefully this round I can pick teams right. So we will go, and then we'll do this, and then we'll do the tips in Squiggle as well. If I just do school ladder predictor, and I'll flick between the two. So in the margin game, Collingwood versus Brisbane. Brisbane looking to bounce back. Collingwood looking to I guess, play well, and I'm also just going to use this as well to my advantage. So we have Brisbane, not many injuries, and Collingwood, I've scrolled past them, whatever I was doing. They have a load of injuries, so does that tip in Brisbane's side? And we saw in round 3 that Brisbane lost to Western Bulldogs and Collingwood won. So I think maybe this is the round that Brisbane gets on top of them. So I'm going to tip them in a close game by 14 points, I think. So if I go over here and go to here, that would be that tip there. And then you have North versus Carlton. I think you got to go Carlton in this game. They look good. I think Harry Mackay is actually going to kick a bag in this game to win it. And if it's in Marvel, so it should be dry conditions, so it should help out Carlton a lot better. And I think they'll kick a lot better than 9 goals 20 that they did on the weekend. So I'm going to pick Carlton, and I'm going to pick Carlton by, I think, 24 points. So there we go. And then going on to Adelaide versus Freo, two teams that won their derbies on the weekend. So two teams coming in with pretty good form. If I was having to pick a team to win this, it's at Adelaide. Adelaide didn't have to travel this week as well. They won. They looked really convincing, and I think we'll see Rory Laird come back here and have a 35-40 disposal game here to really overpower Fremantle, and so that's why I'll go Adelaide. And in this, I'm going to go Adelaide in a small margin by 10 points. Richmond versus Western Bulldogs. Western Bulldogs, I guess, responded against Brisbane to going 0-3 and pretty much ruining their whole season. So Western Bulldogs are not out of it at the moment, but are certainly not, I guess, in a position they want to be in. They probably want to be 2-1 at this point, maybe even. Considering the teams that they played St Kilda, they probably wanted to win that, and Melbourne they could afford to lose, so they probably wanted to be sitting at 2-1 and be sitting at around 100%, and they're 1-2 and 66%. So Richmond have had one of all 3 results so far: a draw, a win, and a loss. But I do think this will be Richmond's game to win, and I just think that you'll see. I think you'll see, to be honest, another Nank masterclass. I think he'll do and overpower English in the ruck. English might beat him around the ground, but I do think that he'll feed the Richmond midfielders really well. And even if Taranto isn't necessarily so precise with his kicking, he'll get a bunch of disposals in this game. So I'm going to say Richmond by 12 points. We go over here again. Then you got St Kilda versus Gold Coast. And I just don't like Gold Coast this year, to be honest. I know that they just beat Geelong, but I just think with the way that St Kilda play, I think they could limit Gold Coast here to 40, 45 points here. And I just think that even though Witts will probably get 40 or so hitouts in the game, I don't think he'll get many to advantage. And I think even it's going to be a real test of how dominant is the Gold Coast midfield against the weaker weaker St Kilda midfield without Steele. But if Mason Wood plays, I think you'll see St Kilda win this game more comfortably. But if he doesn't play, I think it'll be a little bit closer. So I'm going to go St Kilda by 10 points. And then you got Swans against Port. Swans are looking to bounce back heavily. I think they were really disappointing, especially in their efficiency in front of goal. Their key forwards just didn't kick straight. Amadi kicked, I think it was 0 goals 3. McDonald 1 goal 2. And that was all in the first 3 quarters. If that happens, then the Swans are probably up by 15 or 20 going into the last quarter. And they probably weather the storm a little bit better. Melbourne just seemed to overrun them in the end, and I think they just let their emotions get to them a lot and gave away a lot in terms of 50-metre penalties and gave away, I think it was 2 or 3 goals in the end to 50-metre penalties, which probably wasn't best, but I think you'll see a response, especially from the Swans, given that they're not a team that likes to lose very many in a row. So going to go Swans here. I think Port probably also do need to respond, but I think the Swans in front of their home crowd will want to respond more so, especially after losing by 50 points to a premiership rival. So I think we'll see a tight one here. Swans by 8 points. Then you move on to the Sunday games, 2 Sunday games, and you've got Essendon versus GWS, and Essendon looked pretty shaky, to be honest. They gave up a couple of 5-goal swings, I think it was, and just sort of let St Kilda run away with the game. So I think they'll be, they're hot favourites in this game, and to be honest with you, I see why that is the case, but it's at Marvel Stadium under the roof. GWS haven't been looking too bad. I probably want to look at the injury. Essendon have quite a few injuries from the team that played a couple of weeks. Zerk Thatcher should be back. Any other injuries? I don't think there is. So that's all right for them. Then you got GWS who have no injuries, I don't think, from the last game. No injuries from the last game, so I think that should help GWS. Well, both teams should be on the mend. I probably should go with the safe pick here in Essendon. I think it will be a lot closer than what people expect. I don't think we'll see a blowout. I think we'll see another 11. We'll go 11-pointer. Win to Essendon. Then you got West Coast versus Melbourne. This should be pretty clear cut. Melbourne are going to win this. West Coast probably only have about 30 fit members out of their 40-man squad. So, Melbourne are going to win this pretty convincingly, I'm going to say, by 55 points in the end. And then you got Geelong versus Hawthorn. And this is interesting because do I go Geelong for the 4th time and pretty much condemn them to a 4th straight loss? Or do you go Hawthorn, who, whenever I seem to be tipping them wrong as well, I tip them right in the first couple rounds, but who do they play in the first round? Yeah, I would have tipped Essendon, I'm pretty sure. So Geelong versus Hawthorn. I just got to go Geelong, to be honest with you. I think they surely got to bounce back. Tom Stewart's back for his second game, so he's surely going to be in the run of it. Who else do they have back? Geelong. they'll have DeConan out, but Mitch Duncan back. And Hawks don't really have any key position players, so Stewart might have to mark up on one of them, but they don't really have any tools that are that effective down in the forward line. So it should be better that Duncan or Bose is in the back line. It'll help with their distribution. I think they'll be a better team because of it, and I think we'll see they won't be fluent, but I think we'll see a 20-point Geelong win. So yeah, that's my predictions for the AFL, I guess, games. And yeah, we'll see if they actually are better than they were last week. That was another bad round. Hopefully I can get more than 4 or 3. Hopefully I can get 6 or 7 right. And I'll see you guys in another video. Thanks, guys. Goodbye.